stories that touch our hearts. That's what this platform is all about. And this one, this one is a tale of love, loss, and the enduring power of family. A story that will make you laugh, cry, and think. Let's dive right in. In the quaint town of Willow Creek, nestled amidst rolling hills and whispering willows, lived a man named Peter Thompson. He was a beacon of joy, always ready with a helping hand or a listening ear. But beneath his sunny disposition, Peter harbored a secret, one that threatened to shatter the very foundation of his life. It all started when Peter was just a young boy. His mother, Martha, was the epitome of grace and kindness. But as the years rolled on, her health took a turn for the worse. On her deathbed, she summoned Peter, and with a voice trembling with emotion, confessed something that defied belief. She told him he wasn't her biological son. The man everyone knew as Peter's father, John, wasn't his real father either. Before she breathed her last, she revealed the name of his true father, a man named Robert Walker, and whispered that he lived in the neighboring town of Oak Haven. With his mother's final words echoing in his ears, Peter found himself on a journey to uncover the truth. His destination, a modest cottage on the outskirts of Oak Haven, where an elderly man named Robert Walker resided. As Peter approached the cottage, his heart pounded in his chest. What would he say to this stranger? How would he react to Peter's revelation? Taking a deep breath, Peter knocked on the door. When Robert opened the door, he was taken aback by the sight before him. Standing on his doorstep was a spitting image of himself, but much younger. Time seemed to stand still as they stared at each other, lost for words. Finally, Robert, his voice thick with emotion, ushered Peter inside. As they sat down, Robert listened intently as Peter shared his mother's story. When Peter finished, there was a long silence, broken only by the ticking of the clock. Finally, Robert spoke. "Martha was my first love," he began, his voice raspy with emotion. "We were young and in love, but her parents disapproved of me. They thought I wasn't good enough for their daughter." He paused, his eyes distant as if reliving the pain of the past. "They forced Martha to break things off with me. Heartbroken, she left town and I heard rumors that she had married a man named John." Peter listened, his heart aching for his parents who had loved each other so deeply despite the circumstances that kept them apart. Robert then reached into his pocket and pulled out a faded photograph. It showed a young Martha and Robert, their faces beaming with happiness. "I never forgot her," he said, his voice barely a whisper. "And when I saw you, Peter, it brought back so many memories." As the day wore on, Peter learned more about the man who was his biological father. He discovered that Robert had always wondered about the son he'd never had the chance to know. He had often thought about reaching out to Martha, but pride and fear had held him back. When it was time for Peter to leave, he felt a sense of closure. He now knew the truth of his parentage, but it didn't change the love and respect he had for both his parents. As he walked away from the cottage, he couldn't help but smile. He might not have had the answers he was looking for, but he had found a piece of his heart that had been missing for years. Back in Willow Creek, Peter found himself even closer to his adoptive father, John. He realized that blood didn't define family. It was the love, support, and guidance that John had given him over the years that truly made him his father. Peter understood now that his mother had made the right decision all those years ago. She had chosen love over societal pressure and had given Peter the chance to grow up in a loving household. As the years went by, Peter thrived. He fell in love, got married, and had children of his own. And through it all, he carried the memory of his parents, both biological and adoptive, in his heart. Their love stories, though different, had woven together to create the beautiful tapestry of his life.